You're sitting in your 4 p.m. class, just after missing lunch. Your stomach is rumbling and growling, expecting to be fed. The turning and rumbling feeling you get when you look at the clock and waiting the last 7 minutes before you're released to go to Juego or Gumby's to eat feels slower than a snail race. This is nothing compared to the millions of starving people facing chronic hunger every day, day after day. Hi, my name is Tyler Ochs. We should adopt a policy called Sides for Hunger. Food insecurity and hunger are two problems that are prevalent in this world. Even the city you live in, like Dallas, Texas, or College Station. Sides for Hunger, a name with many meanings, is a policy that I believe will assist people in need around us. While there are many reasons for which food insecurity is an issue, poverty and money are on the top of the list recorded by Concern Worldwide US. Sides for Hunger will allow one to set aside money to donate to help provide extra sides of food for people in need. First, like I said before, food insecurity and hunger are two problems that are consistently all around us. Even if you do not personally see people who are part of the millions that suffer from the lack of access to enough sufficient nutrients and food in your everyday life, they are around you. Feeding America, a non-profit organization across America, states, due to the coronavirus pandemic, more than 42 million people, including 13 million children, may experience food insecurities across America. While the pandemic was a huge source for the downfall of many individuals and families, maybe even your own, before 2020, people not receiving the right amount of nutrition was relevant and still at the top of the charts. For all you could know, some of the people around you right here in College Station could fall under those 42 million who struggled to find enough food to feed everyone in their household daily. In tandem, No Kid Hungry states 13 million children in the United States live in a food insecure home, while 12 million children also live in poverty. From both sources, we start to build a relationship between poverty and food insecurity. A direct relationship is revealed, informing us that when poverty is upon someone, especially a child, it is pretty much inevitable that they experience food insecurity as a result. Stated by the Hunger Project, not every person living in poverty faces chronic hunger, but almost all people facing chronic hunger are also living in poverty. I said in the beginning that we should adopt this policy, Sides for Hunger, because it will revolutionize the way the world assists those who are hungry and do not have the resources to obtain the nutrients for their families and themselves. But you might ask yourself, what is this policy and how does it work? Well, Sides for Hunger encourages individuals or households to give a percent of their annual income to non-profit organizations of their choosing that dedicated itself to provide food to people who struggle to obtain the minimum nutrition requirements. I'll explain how this works with a little example that we all know a little too well. Taxes, specifically the tax bracket. I have on screen a bar chart portraying the percent paid per amount of income for both single and joint filings from the Federal Tax Foundation. The tax bracket sections individuals or household into categories based off of their annual income. Depending on how much money one makes in a year, there's a percent for which that person must pay back to the government. As part of the population, just like you, that would do anything to lessen the amount that they have to pay due to taxes, I would be willing to give more money back for a greater cause. In my mind, the small donation is hardly anything in retrospect to the amount you give back to the government, and the benefits conquer any negatives. With this little amount, you could have the chance to first-handedly see the effects it has on the community, opposed to the year-long public road construction that seems to never finish, but you know your taxes are supporting. In my own life, I've personally seen what little I donate can make such a huge impact on multiple people's lives. This small yearly donation could even affect your best friend's life, or quite possibly your life. Let us say that another pandemic arises, and life takes you on a different path than you expected. This small amount that you and I lovingly donated when we had the resources circled back around to assist us when we were in need. Lastly, imagine this with me. A late Tuesday afternoon in the middle of October 2041. The leaves are starting to fall, and the chilly wind hits your face when the front door suddenly opens and walks in your son. While you're making more than enough food for your whole family, you ask the typical parent question: how was your day at school? And to your surprise, he responds with an intellectual answer. He tells you he must write a paper for history class about poverty and the effects it has on malnutrition. You think to yourself, when was the last time the world we lived in struggled to feed millions of people? And it hits you. Almost 20 years ago, when a handful of people, like yourself, selflessly gifted an extra 1% of their income for the world around them, creating the start to what we call a side for hunger. You sit your son down, and you point to the food you're preparing. You tell him, this food is a gift. It is not always this plentiful. You explain to him how, when you were in college, the world had millions upon millions of people, even children, suffering from food insecurities and poverty. But since then, from the love of people's hearts, the numbers have decreased to an all-time low. At this moment in time, these are just problems and potential solutions, or a start to a solution through policy. If the world's hunger, country's hunger, or even city's hunger were set on the back of one individual, there is almost no way of successfully feeding everyone. Like a wolf, alone, they would most likely die from starvation because they do not know how to hunt individually. But put multiple wolves together in a pack to work together, their survival rate skyrockets. This is the same with humans. As individuals, we work toward demise, but banded together on a common goal, we're able to accomplish what we thought was just a dream. I encourage you today to go out and donate $1 a week to a non-profit organization of your choosing to feed people around us and our friends at our side. If you donate $1 a week or 14 cents a day for a year, you would be providing over 150 meals to people just like us who are not able to get enough nutrition from food. As a community with 150 meals per person, the number of donated meals in a year would be outstanding. Go ahead, take one of those dollar bills out of your wallet and gift it to 3 people who are in need of a meal today. Thank you.